Yo guys, what's going on? It's Acez here today with episode number 2 of the PVE podcast, the podcast versus everyone. If you missed episode number 1, I highly suggest you check it out. Basically gives you a rundown of what this podcast is, why it was named, what it was named, and just kind of gives you all of the details about it. And we also did go over some stuff Tarkov related, YouTube related, and more personally related, stuff like that. So if you missed the first one, definitely check it out. I think it was about 3 hours long. It was probably one of the longest things I've ever recorded when it comes to YouTube history. I don't think I've ever really recorded a video that is that long. And if I have, I certainly don't remember unless it was just like a Let's Play or something. So the time flew by and I expect it to absolutely fly by here in episode number 2. A couple things before we do get started. I do have the AC unit on. Do apologize for that. And we are about 8 minutes from it hitting midnight for 4th of July. So I'm expecting some fireworks. Hopefully you guys don't hear any of that on the audio. So we have a little bit of stuff to talk about here today. I don't expect it to run nearly as long. We don't have nearly as much content in the blueprint today. So about an hour, hour and a half is kind of what I'm thinking. And the upload date will be July 4th at 6 a.m. So in roughly 2 hours, assuming no patch extensions, patch 14.9.5 should be finished for you guys, if I did my math correct. Actually, now that I think about it, I think they're doing it at 3 a.m. and they said 6 hours. So that would obviously mean 9 a.m. Eastern time. So should be about 2 hours after you finish the podcast. Is probably what I was thinking there. I mean, I can math. I can do at least basic addition. I'm definitely not an algebra expert, but when it comes to basic addition, you know, I've been counting rubles for a while, so I think we'll be all right. But when it comes to the content we're going to be talking about here today in the pod, episode number 2, we definitely have some stuff that you know, might interest some of you. And I think it's more about like the YouTube side of it this week for the podcast, because I've already made videos about some of this stuff, but we do have a little bit to talk about. So first, we're going to touch on that keycard event, which is now over. I just wanted to kind of touch on it a little bit, talk about it. Then we're going to talk about the flare barter specifically, another thing that I've already talked about in a video here on the channel. Then we're going to talk about Ref, the trader, still just kind of not being existent, not even being talked about for PvE. That's a big part of the podcast today. It's something I haven't made a video on, was going to, but I was like, you know, let's throw it in the pod for everybody supporting the channel, that extra mile, watching, you know, super long form content like this. We'll talk about it there, then we'll make the video for it later, especially after we get our Tarkov update, and that's the next thing on the blueprint, the Tarkov update that will happen in just a few hours after you're done listening here. And then we're going to talk about the things in that update, being the localized PvE, the in-game polls, resetting your PvE count, why I think you should or shouldn't, then why, if you aren't going to, why you should just wait until Prestige. You should never reset until there's a Prestige system implemented. Then we're going to talk about purchasable PvE, and we're going to just talk about the update being pushed out way quicker than I expected. And that is all of the like main Tarkov stuff. We are going to touch on some other Tarkov stuff when it comes to the YouTube side of, you know, talking about what's going on with the channel and other stuff like that. But then we're going to have the ad break, just talk about, you know, small stuff to help support the channel. Then we move into the YouTube stuff. The channel getting hit with a little bit of a demonetization issue. A little bit of ad suitability, as they like to say it. We will get into that. I was not a happy camper about that. We're going to talk about Uncut and Unheard once again, continuing to slow that series down. We're going to talk about Hardcore Tarkov coming to the channel soon. We're going to talk about task guides for every single task in the game coming to the channel. Then we're going to touch on Elden Ring on the 3rd channel, Acez Plays. We're going to talk about the new PC once again, and then kind of the same thing here, but we're going to talk about how I'm trying to work with a PC company to work out a little deal for the channel, save me a little bit of money, and stuff like that. And then we're going to talk about one final thing, and that is if we think I will ever get a streamer item. I know I think I mentioned that in the first podcast, maybe. I feel like if we talk for 3 hours, it had to have come up, but I wanted to touch on it again because it seems like there are some other streamer items that are supposed to already be implemented, but they haven't been yet. So we'll talk about that, and that's literally all I have. And obviously, there's no script for these podcasts. It is all just from me thinking live thought. You know, there's nothing else in this basic blueprint that I have. Anything else we talk about is all, you know, free-flowing off the top of the head. So let's hop into it. the tank battery slash keycard event. I don't know if I said this in the content that I made about them, but I thought it was a very underwhelming and lazy event. I don't want to put off negative vibes and bad energy in the videos where I'm actually talking about the new stuff in the game because, even if I don't love it, that doesn't mean somebody else won't love it. I mean, Customs is one of my favorite maps, and, having the Raiders at the dorm specifically was a lot of fun. I just thought, in general, they could have did a lot better of an event. So, I didn't want to put the bad vibes off in the videos or anything, so I did. I just didn't talk about my feelings when it came to not really loving the event. But overall, I thought it was extremely interesting that they used tank batteries. It's just like, why would we use tank batteries? I get it. It's going to make it a little bit harder to get them out of the map. And, it's one of the more inconveniency items, especially if you're going to be turning in key cards and buying key cards via barter with mechanic and stuff like that. But I think the thing that really kind of like disappointed me, that's a perfect word. The thing that disappointed me was there was only one task. And it was a very money sink task. Like, to me, in my brain, I'm very in touch with the Escape from Tarkov economy and the flea market, stuff like this. Like, all this task said to me was, we need to get rubles out of PvE. And I don't think they cared about PvP whatsoever with this event. I really don't, because we know PvP's been in their white for like 4 months now. What, 5 months even, maybe? No, I think 4 or 5. And, money doesn't matter that deep into a wipe. It just doesn't. When it comes to PvE, we've had PvE mode for 2 months exactly, I think. I think it's been 2 months in a week. And there's just billions and billions and billions of rubles flowing around. And, if you get 100,000 people to do an event that costs 50 million rubles to complete one task, like, that's going to get a nice chunk of change out of the economy. In the grand scheme of things, it's just a drop in the bucket, but it 100% does get some of the rubles out of the economy, and it does kind of flush out those key cards that they spawn probably a little too many of. I mean, the key card rate in the martyrdoms is still crazy. I mean, I think I did an episode of Uncut and Unheard. I think it's episode 77. I think you guys are on 65. 65 would have been uploaded 5 hours ago, I think. No, 6 hours ago. I think I uploaded at midnight. So, that was 65. So we are like less than 2 weeks away from fully catching up with Uncut, and we'll talk about that later. But, I was just farming the martyrdoms, just getting yellows, blues, greens, just like I'm getting everything in there. They're spawning red rebels, taigas, just a little bit of everything. And it's just like, there's so many key cards spawning still, and there's just so much money being pumped and pumped and pumped. And we're not even going to talk about some of the screenshots that I've seen in our Discord when it comes to hitting Rusted. Like, dude, the Rusted Bloody Key, I wish I could play Streets like very comfortably, and by the time the new PC comes in, I already know they're going to nerf it. It's probably going to get nerfed with this upcoming patch here tonight. I would assume anyway. So yeah, I thought the event was a little money sinky, a little lazy by them. I thought the Raiders was actually kind of a nice touch, especially at the dorms. I pretty much avoided the gas station and Fortress, mainly because it's harder to get to those areas, and if they get a line of sight on you while you're running to those areas, you're cooked. I mean, the Raiders, they got that God vision, they got that God aim, so dorms was the best place to engage them, in my opinion. And getting the batteries was actually pretty much hassle-free if the car was there. You just get it off the roof, you throw your bag on the ground off the roof, you run down there, you take the car, you're done. Very, very easy. So, as for all the stuff you could buy with the tank bats, I thought there were some decent ones in there, like 100 rounds at 995. That's not bad at all. And 120 rounds of the 545 Eagle Neck was pretty decent. And, there was a couple armors, and I think there was a spear that you could get. But obviously the key cards were the main attraction there when it comes to farming them. So that's just my opinion on it. Let me know what you guys thought about the key card event. They didn't announce when they were ending it, and I think the reason they did that, actually, now looking at it, is I think they just completely finished the patch, and they're like, okay, we need to get this patch out on Thursday. They always do it on Thursday, because Nikita doesn't like working weekends, so he'll take Friday to make sure the patch is okay, and then he takes off the weekend. So basically, I think the patch they finally got whatever kink worked out with it, whatever delayed it from giving us that June content. And I think they were like, okay, end Key to Salvation immediately. And then tomorrow, or 2 days, I think it was now, let's release 14.9.5. I think that was the logic behind it. And if they would have said, hey, this is ending in 2 days, that would have screwed up their release schedule for the next patch. So it makes sense in my head. Some people might not like it. Some people lost their key cards. It is what it is. You only learn through trials and tribulations and escape from Tarkov. So if you lost 30-some million, safe to say you'll never turn in a task item again on a timed task until you have everything. So, keycard event, that wraps that up. All the barters will be disappearing. As for, will the Flare barter disappear for PvE? We're going to find that out here very, very soon. They said July 5th. I'm kind of thinking that it's probably gonna disappear with the patch. I would assume it's just like, are you gonna once again add all the barters into the new patch 14.9.5 and then just remove them in a day? I mean, they could. I don't really see it happening personally. So, as for if the Flare barter is gonna stay, I think it should. That doesn't mean it will. I am going into July 5th or the next patch with full expectations that the Flare will be removed. And I don't know how the backlash is going to be from that, mainly because that was the main reason to do the task for a lot of people. For me, I actually like achievements. I like to be a little achievement hunter. I haven't really fully committed to it on Tarkov per se, but when it comes to on Steam and when I used to play Xbox and stuff, when there was gamer score, oh man, I was a gamer score fiend. I would buy games sometimes just to play it through and get the achievements. So when it comes to the achievement, I was more than happy to turn in 50 million or whatever it was, buying all the cards for an achievement on the account that'll last forever. And the flares are cool too, but a lot of people want to see those flares stay, and there will be backlash. If they take the flare barter away for PvE players, there will be backlash. It just depends on how much, and if it is taken away, are they just going to bully Nikita into adding it back? Probably. I mean, let's just be honest. That's how things are going right now. And maybe it'll be like, hey, we just updated the game. Don't complain about a flare when you could just check out all the new content instead. Who knows? But I think the flare barter should stay, but that doesn't mean it will. So let's talk about ref. This is a really interesting situation we got going on with this because in PvE, in the hideout on the workbench, the arena crates are in there. So it's not like we're completely disconnected from arena. I mean, it could just be, to make things simple, they added both of them on both, just to put it lightly. But what I think is more important so far is that we have seen both games running flawlessly, simultaneously, with two different sets, two different variables going on at the same time, two different sets of circumstances, or values. I can't really think of the correct word here. But the games are different now. They're not identical copies to each other, just running on separate servers. One literally has a separate trader on it that is not available in the other game. Now, obviously, we're going to need ref in the future. I think the logic of they're playing PvE to not play PvP, so we don't need to give them ref, I think that logic is stupid. And I've talked about this in the previous podcast that, it's just like, dude, just because players are trying to escape Tarkov PvP doesn't mean they don't like it. What we don't like is the cheating, is the everything else that comes with PvP. When you are in arena, it's such a small, quick dent, it's packed. It's just action-packed all around. There's not 20 minutes of running. You're not on Shoreline running to the resort just to get one tap by a sniper sitting in a bush. None of that happens. You load up the match. It's a 5v5 or whatever game mode you're playing. Could be less, obviously. You just W key, get kills or get killed, and then wait for the next round. You do that for a bunch of rounds, good to go. 8 to 15 minute games, and you get rewarded for it. So it's just doesn't mean we don't like PvP. We just don't like PvP on the base game of Escape from Tarkov. So, if Arena is going to be linked to PvE, I will play it 100%. I don't know how much content I'll make on it, but I will still play it, and I will definitely be getting ref. And it's just like, I'm more than happy to go plant some posters on PvE because I know they're not going to be camped constantly. You know, it's just like everything about it seems fine. And it's just really concerning to me. There hasn't even been mentioned. Like, not a word has been said about ref. So we went from the Tarkov TV podcast, and I don't know if there's been another one since or not, but the one that I'm referring to when ref was first shown off, we went from that podcast and Nikita literally saying that arena rewards will be available in PvE and PvP. He said that you could send rubles to PvE, but you can't send rubles from PvE to arena. It only goes one way. Now with PvP Tarkov, it can go both ways. But he said for arena, it's only going to go one way. Arena to PvE. That's it. You're not going to be sending gear from PvE over to arena. So right now, I think you can only send rubles. I think that's it. And then the crates and stuff. And then maybe GP as well. But, you know, ref comes out and it's just like, there's just in the patch notes, ref will not be available in PvE. And I was just like, what? And now GP coin is completely useless in PvE. I haven't picked up a GP coin since. I haven't picked one up. I see them all the time. I don't even pick them up. They're a literal waste of space. And I think I have like 30 of them just chilling in the stash. That's just from, you know, earlier. And you can't sell them. I don't know if you can sell them. I don't even think you can sell them fence. I think they're just useless. I think they're just taking up space in the stash. So, you know, that was announced and she's like, what are we doing? So I made a video or two about it, and usually it's addressed or something is said about it, but there has literally been full radio silence, and that just tells me that they either cannot do it, they physically cannot do it. Like, they just cannot link PvE, like, as a separate game to Arena, which I don't understand how they can't do it. If right now there's a trader on one but not on the other, it just sounds like a server thing. Like, oh, you know what? I don't want to forget this. So where do I want to put this in the Tarkov talk here? I don't want to say what it is yet. And maybe we'll add something about mod support as well. I need to make a video on that, but I haven't got to it yet. So maybe I'll, you know, talk about it here as well. Okay, got that typed in. I'm not going to tell you what that was about yet, but we'll get to it. But it's just like, how can we not link those things? If you can link it to PvP, it's just a small difference, no? So, and another thing that kind of confirms this logic to me, that they genuinely can't do it, is, well, I could counter my argument here, but when they had the rewards for the promo codes, all that stuff went to your PvP account. It did not go to PvE. Now, my counter argument to that is when you purchase, like, Unheard Edition, for example, I've heard some people have some issues with this, but, you know, when you purchased Unheard, in your PvE character, like, you did get the bigger pockets. You got all the Unheard stuff. So, if there is a way that right now purchasable items are working and giving it to us in PvE, like, why can promo items not get sent to PvE? I don't fully understand it. I really don't. And it's like, are we going to get a Christmas gift, you know, near December? Are we going to only be able to claim that in PvP? Like, what's going on with that? I don't know. It's concerning for sure. It's definitely concerning, and I think there's got to be something seriously wrong when it comes to the integration of PvE to Arena, Ref, and all the in-betweens. For them to not even mention it, not even give us, like, a blueprint. It wasn't anywhere on the roadmap. There's nothing. It's pure radio silence. So, that's one of the big things I wanted to talk about. It's concerning for sure, and I think a lot of us were left disappointed that we still have just nothing when it comes to Ref, and don't get to play Arena. And I think that's what's going to save Arena, is actually getting some players on it, because it seems like right now that arena update did not save arena. Seems like it's still getting a lot of bad press from some of the other creators. Me personally haven't touched it because obviously there's no point. I'm PvE only, so that's where we're at with that. Let's talk about this Tarkov update. Localization for PvE. That's going to be a big thing. Now, when they talked about it, they said ability to. That wording is very important. Could be intentional, could just be coincidental. But ability to should mean it's optional. That's going to be great for, people who just, their PCs can't handle it. I'm going to try it out. I'm sure once the NASA PC comes through here in, 3 weeks? No, still about a month, a little less. I'm sure once the new PC comes through, it won't be an issue at all. And it'll just make life way easier, especially recording, hardcore and stuff like that. But when it comes to localization, I hope it's optional for the players whose PCs are just going to commit. And I mean that, respectfully. But the PCs are just going to blow up, dude. The people's PCs, I swear, sometimes the small... having Google Chrome open for me, one tab, just not even a bunch of tabs, just one single tab of Chrome, while playing Streets of Tarkov, because I would have the map up, because I didn't know where the fuck I was going. I got to keep the cussing down as well. I'm not going to edit that one out because I think that's my first one in 21 minutes, so I don't think YouTube will be too mad. We'll talk about that in the YouTube stuff part, but side note, I have to cuss less in recordings now. It's kind of fake, but it is what it is. So, for PCs that right now are just taking the L, me having one Chrome tab open, I swear, was reducing my FPS by 10 on Streets. It was a night and day difference closing the tab and then just popping up the map on my phone. It was a night and day difference. So I hope it's optional for the guys whose PCs are genuinely just going to crash the moment they try and load a raid, which would be tragic, but it is what it is. But we'll just have to see how it works. I'm excited. It's less than, by the time you're hearing this, less than 3 hours away. Potentially a little longer if they extend. But it's going to be super interesting. I'll probably be asleep by the time the patch is fully released, unfortunately. A lot of the content that I'm going to make on this patch will come tomorrow. Because I think the moment I wake up, I'm probably going to be celebrating 4th of July somehow, shape, or way. And for everybody celebrating, happy 4th. But yeah, local PvE is going to be interesting, and it's going to save a lot of headaches for players struggling with match time. It's going to save a lot of time for a lot of people. It's going to be nice, assuming it runs smooth, of course. One more thing on that. I do have my concerns with it because on offline raids, they are so unstable with a lot of entities on the map. So in the beginning of the raid, it won't be too bad, and then everything spawns in, your FPS tanks by half, and then as you kill stuff, it just gets worse. So hopefully it's not offline fully where the entities just tank your FPS for some reason. We'll just have to see. So in-game poll system, we're not going to spend too much time on this. It should be fairly simple. Maybe as simple as your message box, you get a message from system, and that's going to say, new in-game poll in all capital letters. What do you want to see added next? Lighthouse expansion, customs expansion, factory rework, which you already know is coming. It's just what do you want to see next? That's just an example. And then you click yes, no, option 1, option 2, or the actual name of whatever it is we're voting on, and that will send the feedback back to BSG where that data is calculated, and hopefully they have it separated by PvP and PvE. Worst comes to worst, you just log on to your PvP, submit the poll, and then you log back on to PvE. But I think the in-game poll system is going to be fairly easy to implement. I don't see any problems with it. I think it's going to help the game a bunch for what new players actually, or what all players want to see when it comes to new content. So it's going to be dope. Next one, resetting your PvE account. A lot of people asking for this. It just makes no sense to me. And I mean this respectfully, but the whole point of PvE is to not wipe. And the fact that people want to reset their account, I get it. Like, I genuinely get it, because right now I've been taking a pretty significant break from Escape from Tarkov. Still been making 3 videos a day, still been grinding the content, hopping on the game, doing hideout stuff, playing a couple raids, doing viewer kits, all that stuff. I'm still playing the game, but I'm not grinding it like 12 hours a day like I was. And obviously, real life responsibilities catch up with you when you're taking that much time off, of course. But it's just like, I'm definitely taking a break, and I understand, like, if I reset my account right now, I would definitely be playing 12 hours a day again, because I'd have objectives to do again. I still have Lightkeeper and all this stuff, but I'm kind of saving that for this patch. I'm going to be completely honest with you, because the way I see it is this new patch is gonna happen, and it's going to make, hopefully, raids just 10 times more enjoyable, quick load times, getting in and out, and doing shit, stuff like that. And it's just like, I'm kind of just waiting for this patch, get a little new content, play a bunch, and then, you know, in fairly short amount of time, like a month and a half, we're going to get another patch 15. And there's going to be a ton of new stuff with that. So, you know, I'm just kind of waiting on that. But when it comes to everybody else, like, I'm assuming a lot of people who want to reset their account, they already have Kappa, they already have Lightkeeper, and it's just like, you know, if you're just going to do all that work and then reset your account to do it all again, I get you want to enjoy the game, but I don't see the enjoyment in wasting time. You know, time is your most valuable asset, and for all you guys who spend, you know, hours and hours watching my content, there's no way I can even begin to describe how much I appreciate you for taking the time out of your day to, you know, whether it's be entertained or be informed or just show support, whatever. Like, time is your most valuable asset in your life. Like, you don't get that. You don't get it back. So it's just like, to just rush through the game, get Lightkeeper, do all this stuff, and then to want to reset your account right away this early doesn't make sense to me. I think there are reasons that you should reset your account if needed. Like, if you're -8 scav rep or something because you use the unheard radio constantly, you know, I think that's a good reason. I think that's for sure a good reason. If, you know, I mean, maybe you just got a bad break, like, just everything went wrong for you, you're flat broke, you can't get ahead, you're just doing bad, you just want to reset, refresh. Like, if you don't have any of the hideout done and you just have nothing, like, that's a good reason to reset, I guess. Other than that, I can't really think of a reason, to be completely honest with you. I just can't. There's no reason to reset your account. If you're getting that bored that quickly with Tarkov, maybe you just need a break. Maybe you don't need to reset. Maybe just take a break, dude. Like, you know what I mean? So, other than that, I don't think you should reset your account at all until prestige rewards are added. That's my opinion. Once prestiging is added, and I think, personally, the prestige requirement should be Kappa. I don't think it should be Lightkeeper. That's just me. I think you should be able to prestige the moment you get Kappa, and you have to turn Kappa in to prestige your account. I think that's what should happen. And I think, or you have to, so like if you go on the Tarkov website or the launcher and you click prestige PVE character, something like that, I think it should have a check mark there that says collector complete, just like your task or something like that. And just like, that's the best way I can put it personally. I don't think Lightkeeper should be the requirement. I think the grind to Lightkeeper is somewhat out of reach for most players. I think Cap was achievable. It takes a while for sure, but for the people who want to prestige, I think Cap is where we should cap it. And that's not, you know, a pun, but hey, we got one in there. I think prestiging is going to be really interesting. I think if Nikita's going to go with a traditional prestige system, it's just like, what would you keep from a prestige token, dude? Like, what would you actually keep? Would you keep a skill? Would you keep all your skills? Like, is that optional? I feel like it wouldn't be. I think it would have to be like one skill, like max strength or something, you know? Or one barter, something like that. Like, you can't use a prestige. Well, you know, could you use a prestige token on Kappa, and then the collector task could be the prerequisite to prestige? So, like, you could prestige token your Kappa container and then have that on your next run. That would actually be sick, now that I think about it. That would be actually really nice. All right, I'm in favor of that. Now I'm thinking about it, I'm in favor of that. And then it's just like those rewards persist per prestige. So next run through Tarkov, you could do a skill. You could do like let's just say max strength. And then on your next one, you could do maybe an ammunition. Like you could do M62, purchasable from Peacekeeper at loyalty level 1. Or you could do the thick case barter, thick items case barter. I don't think you should be able to keep individual items. Like, you shouldn't be able to just keep a thick items case. I think you should be able to keep barters, have access to barters. I think that's how that should work. But that sounds like a lot of work for BSG to implement. I don't know like how easy or hard it would be. Sounds like a lot of work though. Sounds like a lot of work. So maybe that's something that'll happen once the new Unity is completed for the base game or whatever. Or something that happens in 1.0. I simply don't know, man. But wait for prestige for PvE. Just make your PMC a superhuman, max out every single skill, and enjoy the game for the first time, like ever. You know, you've never had an opportunity before to max out every single skill. I know I'm nowhere close, but I'm not grinding it like I should be. It's just like not that important to me when I have so many other responsibilities in my life personally. But it's just like, I know some of you guys who are grinders, like, you're going to get max skills and everything, and you're going to experience Tarkov like you've never experienced it before because of having max skills. So, we have 1 to 2 weeks before, well, 1 to 2 weeks if the game is stable, we'll be able to purchase PvE. And that's going to open up a whole bunch of different things for me and this channel personally. And I think once that happens, I think we could potentially see like the next big spike in the channel. Because my goal, personally, is the moment PvE is purchasable, I want to purchase PvE on both my standard accounts and have one be hardcore, which we'll talk about this later. We'll also talk about the next thing later. And the other one be an account just for completing tasks and doing a guide video for every single task, doing it live. So I think if we do the task thing, that should, in my mind, because I think the price point of PvE right now is unattainable for most. And that really sucks that, you know, a lot of people are in bad positions in life like that, where it's just unaffordable. And doesn't matter if you're under 18, over 18, have a job, don't have a job, whatever your circumstances. It just sucks. It just sucks not to be able to enjoy Tarkov the way I think it should be enjoyed personally. And it's just like, once it's purchasable, and I'm assuming it's gonna be $45, $50, something like that. And then you got fees with what's that service called? Zawala or something. God, me and that service do not get along. Like, I have to reach out to customer support every single time for them to unlock my account. I'm not going to go into why my account was locked, but it's locked, and every single time I want to make a purchase, I have to talk to customer support. It takes 2 hours, so I'll have to probably spend 4 hours just purchasing 2 separate PvEs, but it is what it is. It just is what it is. I'm not going to get into it. So, you know, it's just like, it's going to be finally affordable for enough people, and they're going to get to experience PvE for the first time ever. And I think if we're doing task guides for every single one of those, like, beginner tasks, it's going to skyrocket the channel. That's just how I think it's going to go. I don't know if it's going to go from, like, what are we at right now? Let's see. Let me mute YouTube so my intro doesn't play. We're at 24,400 subs. So by the time PvE is released to be purchased separately, I'm assuming we will be at 25K. Should be easily, I would think. But I think there's going to be so many new faces that are going to experience Tarkov for the first time that we could go up to like 30, 35K. I mean, with the release of PvE, let me see here. This is not a flex, of course. This is just being transparent and letting you guys know what's going on. How well the channel's been doing, thanks to you guys, man. In the last 90 days, and I can do that because before PvE, I was getting like 400 views a day. The channel was completely dead. We have gotten 8,000 subs since PvE is released. I think the release of it being standalone is going to be like another mini release. And I think it's going to attract the more casual crowd, which in turn is going to be looking up task guides. And I think we could double those numbers. I think we could get another, 15-ish thousand subscribers here. And once we're at that point, assuming we're at 25K now, once we hit like 40K, I think you get to a point where people just see how many subs you have, and they're like, I should probably sub to this guy. He seems like a pretty popular creator. That's just my logic. That doesn't mean it's logic that you should follow. That's just my logic. So let me just check something, and I don't want to call out certain creators or anything. But let me just check a couple creators who I think have been in the Tarkov space a while that I'm surprised they're not at bigger milestones. So Tweak is one of them. I know he kind of like stepped back from Tarkov and everything. But Tweak has 81,000 subs. I would have thought that he would have been so much higher. Geeksa is another one, and we'll look up Piranha in a second. What is Geeksa at? Why did his channel not come up right away? That's actually insane. His videos came up, but his channel didn't. What on earth? Can I sort by channel? So Geeks is at 128K, but I know he did a lot of stuff for DMZ, I think. Is his channel... Oh, he doesn't have a channel trailer? Really? Interesting. I think he did stuff for DMZ. I think he got a lot of support on that, so that might have helped him out. But, he's a phenomenal creator. And at least in the early Tarkov, he was like 2020, 2021. He was like one of the go-tos. So to see like a lot of these creators that I would have thought would be at 100,000 subscribers and they're not really surprised me. So let's look up Piranha here. Honestly, one of the GOATs when it comes to task guide. Yeah, Piranha's at 93,500 subs. And that's just insane to me. Because he has some of the best, like... There's another guy that does task guides now that's really good. They're like a minute long that kind of took Piranha's spot. But there's just... I think Tarkov creators don't get the support that they should get with how many views that they get, if that makes sense. Like, in the last... Let me go to my stats. Let's go in here. And now, I know there's going to be returning viewers, but I can actually look at those stats as well. So, in the last... Since PVE has started, we've gotten 1.5 million views. That's a ton. Like, that is insane. So, if I go to audience, last 90 days, we've had almost 300,000 unique viewers, and I don't know how that's... I think that's people that are signed into their YouTube account. I think that's how that works. We've had almost 300,000 unique viewers. The amount of conversion on that, 300,000 unique viewers, 8,000 new subscribers. It's just something with Tarkov content, man. It just does not really gain subscribers. It's interesting. The same thing for Call of Duty 2. Over on the Acez Gaming channel, that one's even worse. I don't know how many views I've had lately, but over time, millions and millions and millions. What is that even? Can I just check on that real quick? Just want to see how many views overall the Acez Gaming channel has amassed. Is it going to play my intro? It might. I was not playing the intro either. That's so weird. Let me see here. So the about details. 9.5 million views on Acez Gaming. And it only has 24,100 subs. We literally have more subs on this channel. Great community, by the way. I don't want to cuss, but screw the COD community, man. Man, it's so fake and disingenuous. We'll get into it. I'm not even going to get into it yet. We're still on the Tarkov side of things, kind of. Right? Are we? I don't even remember. Yeah, we didn't even make it to the ad break yet. We just went full tangent mode. You already know the vibes. It's just like the support is crazy, and over on Call of Duty, toxic community. Let's just wrap this up. I'm going on a tangent. So where were we here? Oh, PVE being purchasable. Yeah, I think the channel's going to do pretty good. I think it's going to do pretty good doing every single task. So, yeah, definitely podcasty right now. You already know. 40 minutes in, didn't even make it to the ad break. So, update rolled out way quicker than I thought. So, it's the 4th now. It's 12:30 in the morning. I thought the update was going to come out in the week, on the 11th. So, BSG pleasantly surprised me with a release today on a holiday, which is crazy. Pretty typical of them, actually. Releasing updates and patches and wipes on literally Christmas Eve and stuff like that. But yeah, they pushed this thing out, man. I mean, I know it was June content, but I fully expected a July 11th release. But put it on July 4th, baby. I'm not mad at you at all. I appreciate that, and I'm glad they worked out any kinks that needed worked out and got it done. So I gotta say it. That's a step in the right direction, even though like it was a step backwards. It was still a step forward, which sounds stupid, but that's kind of how I see it. You know, I expected it to be later. They gave it to us early, even though it was late. So that's how that goes. So here's two of the things that I wrote in when I told you when I was thinking about like ref and that integration process. I have here wipe could potentially hurt PvE progress, and that's writing it really lightly. I think there is a very, 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 very small chance that when Nikita wipes the game for patch 0.15 in August, that we might lose everything on PvE. This is the first time they'll be wiping the game with the new system implemented. And with BSG, we know things can go wrong. And I literally have goosebumps because if that happens, they'll just have to revert the patch. They'll just have to completely revert it and delay it because the amount of backlash that would happen if PvE was accidentally wiped somehow, like something goes wrong, they're just gonna get smoked. They're gonna get annihilated. So I hope it doesn't happen, but it could certainly happen. Anything's possible with BSG. And that's really all I wanted to say on that. Surely I could have honestly put that in earlier, but make it wait 40 minutes for it just so anybody who wants to read in the comments, they can they probably won't make it this far. The haters don't make it this far, baby. Like, if you're listening now, you ain't a hater. You're a GOAT. You're a supporter. You're an OG. I appreciate you. And the last thing on the Tarkov stuff is the mod support. Guys, I think I mentioned this in the last one, and I might have mentioned it in videos too. Mod support's just not going to happen, man. Like, Nikita's just saying things, and I don't want, like, bad blood with BSG and Nikita. Like, they're doing a great job, but saying that we're going to allow mods is just such a, here's some hope for the future. When Nikita says it's very, very, very far away. I think it is so far away that it's never going to happen. And when it does happen, when mod support is introduced, it's going to be very, very, very basic things. It's going to be weapon camos, like skins, spray paints. It's going to be like, what do we think here? Like heavy snow instead of snow, heavy rain instead of rain. It's going to be things that don't affect the in-game experience whatsoever. If you think they're going to allow a mod that is going to change the AI behavior, you are sadly mistaken. If you think they are going to add airstrikes in, like an SPT, you are sadly mistaken. The only way they would allow things like that is if you agree to completely disconnect a modded PvE character from the flea market and from events and from everything. I just don't see it happening, guys. Like, I just don't see it happening. It sounds like a lot of extra work for BSG. And even if they let the community make the mods, they're going to have to regulate them. And anything that would impact the game in any single way, like better kits, better gear, better anything. I saw one guy left a comment on my med bag video. He was like, yeah, in SPT, I have a mod where it allows me to put any item in this bag instead of just meds. Like, BSG will not allow that. That will not happen. That is game altering and giving you an advantage. Anything that gives you an advantage in any single way, vision, shaders, anything, will not be allowed. It is such a false hope, and I can't even believe they actually said they'll do it. It's just like, I think it was just to alleviate the pressure of Unheard Edition at the time. I don't think it's ever going to happen. And I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just trying to be realistic. And it's just like, dude, mod support is not happening. I'm going to have a full video on it, basically regurgitating the same stuff I just said. But I don't know, man. I wanted to talk about it because I want people to know early on that I don't think it's going to happen. And if we do get it, have low expectations. That way, if something is way above your expectations, you'll be way happier about it. Like, that's with anything in life. Like, let's say you, I don't know. So I know I made some comments that I don't like coffee. ruffle some feathers. You know, I'm not a coffee enjoyer myself, but let's say you go to a coffee shop and you order a coffee. If you like read on Google that's 1 star, you're gonna expect this coffee to be absolute dog water. It's gonna be watered down, gross. But then you get the coffee and it's a 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10. It's amazing, best coffee you ever had. You're gonna enjoy it way more than if you already expected it to be a great coffee. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like when you have a cookout and it's just like you bought, I don't know, you bought something with like 5% or 8% instead of like 20%. And you think, ah, man, this burger's going to be dry. And then it's like, somehow it doesn't come out dry. You got a nice and juicy burger. It's like, dang, this burger's fire now. You know what I'm saying? Like, anything that you're, like, if you're going into something with high expectations, it's way easier to be let down if you're going into something with low expectations and the expectations are, like, way above and beyond. So that's how you should view mod support. Just expect it to be absolutely trash. And if it's not, that's great. If it is, then I told you so. So we got the ad break. It's going to be the exact same thing as last week. Feel free to skip over it if you want. It's not going to be too much longer well, it's not going to be too long, I should say. So, first thing, this podcast is sponsored by me, Acez, the Acez brand. You guys went crazy with the support on the last episode. I know we got a bunch of new memberships from the podcast. It actually tells me like what video you signed up on. So thank you guys for all the new members, man. I think, if I'm not mistaken, the Rat tier has taken over the Chad tier. I think there's finally been a break. I think you guys finally took them down. We're at right now, let's do total members, not counting cancellations. So this will change in the future. Right now, there are 9 rats and 7 chads. All right, 16 members. That's insane. 16 memberships. Thank you guys for showing that level of support. That's crazy. Like, the whole membership thing, and it's like basically like Twitch subs. Like, the fact you are willing to do that, it's just crazy to me. It's just, it means so much to me that I'm providing enough value to you, whether that's entertainment or informational, that you are willing to support the channel that next level. It means so much to me, genuinely. I've never been like the best to show you like in words how much I appreciate the support that you guys are giving me, but the last 2 months, you guys are the main reason I keep making the content. Like I told you, I've been taking a little bit of a break from Tarkov after getting Kappa. I'm still grinding out 3 videos a day for you guys. It's not really for me. It's not about the money or anything. It's just about helping people and enjoying Tarkov and having fun and being a gamer. It's never like truly been about the money for me. And it just helps. It just helps me do less of my IRL work, and I can play more Tarkov, make more videos. So it's just like, if I'm going to be playing Tarkov, man, I got to be making content, helping you guys out along the way. So the support is just so appreciated. We're up to 9 rats, 7 chads. And if memory serves me correct, I think the rat tier is 99 cents. And then the chad's $4.99, I think. I think that's where we're at. So, to both tiers, thank you guys so much. Thank you so much. I'm just full transparency. I haven't got any better with pinning your comments. We've been getting a lot. There's been a lot of support on the channel lately. It's probably about 100 comments a day, and I try to still read every single one of them. But it's definitely getting harder, and I have a new appreciation for other creators, like with 100,000 subs that don't answer comments. I see why. It's a lot. It is a lot of comments. It's a lot to keep up with. So, but just seriously, thank you guys so much for the memberships. And of course, being sponsored by me also includes the super chats, which you guys have gone absolutely insane. Can I see the stats on those? Just see how many you guys have sent me. I don't care about the value. I just want to know how many different supers. 30 in the last, that's 28 days. Let's do last 90. 66 super chats since PVE has come out. That's nuts, dude. That's insane, bro. 66 donos. Like I said, amount doesn't matter. Actually, that might be 65 because I know one YouTube threw an extra 0 on one guy's dono. Oh my goodness. He dropped a 50 bomb, but YouTube put an extra 0 on it accidentally, and he dropped 500 beans. He had to contact Google, get that refunded. I felt bad for the guy. I was like, oh man, that's tough, because I know Google's a real A about their refund policy. So he did get it refunded though, which is good, because that's crazy talk, man. That's crazy talk. 500 compared to 50, that could hurt some people for sure. So regardless, the super thanks, thank you guys so much, man. it's all going to the new PC. So I appreciate you guys. And then the final thing is the Amazon affiliation stuff. In the description, free trial, 30 days. You sign up, I get $3 for free. You get every single perk with Amazon Prime, 2-day shipping, Prime Video, Prime Gaming, all those rewards. You'll get a free Prime sub. You can go on Twitch, sub to whoever you want to as well, and you get that all for a month. Just make sure you cancel the membership after a few days of using it, getting all your rewards. Bunch of free games on Epic and stuff too. You just add them to your library and everything. There's a lot of perks to it, so check that out. And then also those links in my description, like all the equipment I use. Some of it's outdated. I have to change it, but I had one guy who purchased a 4060. I think it was a 4060, and I got like $9 from it. Amazon is required for the affiliation to give me some of their profit, so it takes profit from the big man, from Big Bezos, and gives it to the little guy. So anytime you need something on Amazon, you don't have to have a Prime membership for that. You just click one of my links and then search for whatever you're about to buy, and I get a small kickback from it. So if you're against the big business and you're in support of the small business, it's appreciated. That's all for the self-promo, ladies and gentlemen. Just supporting myself where I can. And I haven't reached out to anybody about doing an official sponsorship or nothing. I don't really care about that. If somebody reaches out, awesome. Nobody reaches out, I'll continue to self-promo my stuff. That's a direct line of support to me rather than, a big sponsorship and big companies, since we just talked about pretty much ripping off Jeff Bezos and taking some of his profits. So let's hop into some of the YouTube stuff. This first one, hopefully I don't get too heated about it because we have got it somewhat resolved. It's still an issue. But we actually got, so demonetized is the wrong word. We got hit with a low, what's the best way to put this, where I don't want to exaggerate what happened. The entire channel was scanned for ad suitability. That's a great way to put it. So we have over 900 videos here, and every single video was forced to be scanned for ad suitability because I had been saying profanity too much in my recordings. And the main trigger for it was saying either the F word or the S word. Just, they consider those major profanity. And, they also consider like slurs and derogatory marks and stuff major profanity. But when it just comes to cussing, obviously I've never said anything like that, but I say the F word and the S word, like, it's just the 4-letter words, just so we're clear. The 4-letter words, like, I say those all the time. And in the last podcast, I don't know. Okay, make it make sense. The last podcast did not get ad suitability. And I was going off in that one about a bunch of different stuff, dropping F-bombs left and right. So it's just like, if I'm playing an M-rated game, like, I should be able to say fuck. You know what I mean? Like, I should be able to say that. And the fact that I can only say it like X amount of times per recording is crazy talk. It's crazy talk to me. And now, just to be safe, I have to wait like another minute just so I can say the S word and not have any ad risk. It's crazy to me that that's even a thing. But the main thing that was triggering it was that I was saying those, those two words in the first 30 seconds. Well, they flagged me for saying damn. It's just like, dude, that's literally a word in the English language. Like, for blocking water. You don't know which one I was saying. You're literally using an AI to detect it. Anyway, that one got cleared up super quick, by the way. But it's just like, I was saying in the first 30 seconds of a video, and like the first 30 seconds is the preview amount for when people just hover their cursor or, see it like in their feed or on their TVs or whatever, however you watch my content. It gives you like a preview and it captions it. So in the caption, it couldn't put the profanity. It just puts a blank. So that's how it detects it. And when I have to release a video, I have to click if it's good for ads or not. So in these videos where there's profanity in the first 30 seconds, like if it was on second 28 and I said shit, it would think like, hey, this video cannot be shown to advertisers. Like, advertisers can't be putting their stuff on this video because this guy said a bad word in the first 30 seconds. So that was the main trigger. And I reached out to YouTube and I'm like, hey, 900 videos just got scanned and we have a lot of them that are getting flagged falsely. And they reached out to me and they're like, hey, we noticed that you're doing firearm content and there's a lot of profanity. I'm like, what? Like, what do you mean firearm content? No, I'm not. This is a gaming channel. This is Escape from Tarkov, a video game. Long story short, those were false flags on the firearm stuff. That was cleared up right away. It was understood that I am playing a video game, and I don't even know. Like, you can't even really discuss like high cap mags or anything like that when it comes to IRL firearms. But obviously, if we're playing Tarkov and we're doing a gunsmith task, I need to tell you about the 60 rounder you need for mechanic. So that got cleared up quick. What didn't get cleared up was the profanity. So I had to request manual reviews for each and every video that essentially got demonetized. Now, it was on a ad sustainability, or not sustainability, suitability, excuse me, wrong word, ad suitability. So meaning, some ads would be shown. However, they would not be high-paying ads, and they would not be maybe good ads. So maybe instead of seeing a toilet paper ad at the beginning of your Tarkov video, you would see a condom ad or something like that. Something that is less overall friendly in general for advertising. So it's just like instantly I had to go on damage control. I was reaching out to Google, I was reaching out to YouTube, I was reaching out to every line of communication, emails, and working on figuring out what we can do to get things cleared up. And after about a week, we had well over half of the videos cleared, and they're back to normal ads and everything like that. But some of the videos that didn't get cleared, they don't get pushed by the algorithm. They are making no money now. Old videos, like from 2021, completely chalked. Like, those videos don't even matter, but they're just completely chalked. Like, they'll never get shown in the algorithm ever again. So it was pretty tough. I was really unmotivated. I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it because I was actually like a mess mentally, because it's like the Tarkov channel's finally going good again. I'm loving it. The community's great, and then they hit me with this, and I was honestly devastated, man, because I thought like, dude, I'm gonna have to once again start working again and reduce the amount of videos, and it's just like, man, it really sucked. And like I said, I went on super quick damage control, got it figured out to the best I could. As of right now, let me see. I know a lot of videos got cleared up, but there was also some issues. Like, I would request a manual review, and it would come back instantly. Manual reviews are by humans. So, like, I had one example where I was going off to YouTube support about it. I was actually going off, too. It was just like, I requested a manual review on a hour and 11-minute video. It was one of the uncut and unheards. Denied in 5 seconds. I simply said to YouTube, how did a human watch a 70-minute video in 5 seconds? And they didn't have an answer. It was like, it just didn't follow the guidelines. I'm like, what? And that video still is ad restricted. They will not... I don't know, dude. I don't know. But let me just... Can I sort by... I can sort by limited ads. So let's go ahead and do that. Oh, actually, they cleared some more of them up. I know they cleared up a few more last night. Oh, so all the ones from 2021 are cleared up as well? Okay. Wow. Okay. Yeah, we're making some progress. I do know the episode of Uncut and Unheard today had an F-bomb in the first, I think it was 26 seconds in, something like that. Episode 65, I think it was. And it actually didn't get restricted, which was crazy to me. So maybe they have fully fixed it, and I just haven't realized, because in the last... When was the last one? Because I know I got a bunch of them cleared up. Yeah, we only have a couple. Let me just check something real quick. This would be great if it's fully resolved, but I don't think it is. I would have to upload a video right now to check. Let's go to... Nah, it's not. Yeah, I still have the dings here. Yeah, these ones will be permanently, forever limited. And that... I have to wait 90 days from May 7th to be completely cleared, and I also have to have no more infractions until 90 days from May 7th. So what is that? Oh, it's saying that this was way more recent than May 7th. Oh, that would actually be a W because that's when the video was uploaded, not when it actually went live. That would actually be a massive W because that's going to save a lot of time. So we got 1, 2. So that puts us at like October 8th to be a full 90 days, I think. That's actually not that bad. It's not that bad. That's manageable. But I've been doing a fairly solid job. Like I just gave you a couple examples of the cussing that they don't like. But when it comes to doing the edits, I think uncut and unheard, I've been really careful about it because obviously it's uncut. And then obviously up to like episode 76 or something like that, there could be in the first however many seconds, but I've been doing such a like extra effort job to edit out the cuss words and stuff and beat them out. Now in this podcast, I will not be editing them out because it's long enough. There's absolutely no way that after talking for an hour so far and cussing like 4 or 5 times that it's going to get dinged. And if it does, I'm going to have a chat with YouTube. I mean, I'm not afraid to get on support and speak my mind. I make them plenty of money. So if I'm not valued, then it'll be a hell to raise. So, it just is what it is. Sorry if you hear that tapping. I'm just tangenting. So I knew I was gonna get salty about it. It just is what it is. You know what I mean? It should have never happened. And now my channel is affected for like 90 more days. And the main thing that it is just like the fact that I can't be my true, authentic self with how I speak. It upsets me. It's just like I don't take no BS or anything. And the fact that I even have to say BS, it just feels not genuine. It doesn't feel authentic. And that's like what I strive to be. That's like my genuine like slogan is just like always being authentic, always not hiding stuff, not being shady, not doing scummy stuff. Like I see too much of it on Twitter and in YouTube. It's just like, dude, people need a creator that they're just like, this guy's a real guy, man. And it's just like, you still obviously still don't know me, but it's just like, I've never done anything except for maybe a little flea market manipulation. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, dude, it's like that's in-game fake money. Like, if you're salty about that, get lost, man. Just like I've always held true to my guns, and I love when the people comment like. There was one guy who commented like, "Yeah, you should have been demonetized. You're so rude." I'm like, I'm only rude to people that are rude to me. Like people that start, talking bad about the channel, whatever. It's just like if you're gonna be an ass to me, I'm gonna be an ass to you. It's just like you think I don't know how to fire back at somebody? You think I'm just like a super passive Timmy on the block who just gets his ass beat every day? Like I'm not. What was that Eminem bar? Something about the big wheel and stealing the kid's big wheel or something. Like, nah, man, I'm stealing my bike back. What do you mean, bro? I'm not gonna sit here and just get abused when I worked so hard on this channel. I worked so hard on my content. Now I could work harder, but I'm I can't do that. I'm just too lazy. I'm not editing hour-long episodes, but it's just like I've worked a lot and I've done a lot to build this channel and now build this community. God, man, the PVE community, we are so strong, bro. We are amazing. Way better than PvP. I don't even care, man. Like, yeah, I'm happy about the like what was it 16,300 people we had before PVE, but like the 8,000 of you that have subscribed, like you guys are them. You're him. You're her. Like all y'all, whatever you identify as, whatever you want to be, I don't care. You are the GOAT. I appreciate you guys so much, and unmatched. It's just a delight to hop on here and see your kind comments, bro. It's just amazing. It's just so good. So, yeah, the demonetization or the whole ad suitability thing had me honestly pretty depressed for about a day. And after the videos started getting, lifted and the ads getting back on them, I was just like, okay, I think we'll be okay. And it hasn't been an issue here for like a week now. So it's just like I wanted to talk about it because I did make a community post about it, and I talked about it in the Discord a few times, and you know, it was a few days after the first podcast went up, so wanted to touch on it because it's definitely something, as I say, I like to be very transparent. So the next thing here is Uncut and Unheard. Slowing down. We're going to slow it down. Recorded 77, episode 77, yesterday. You're probably a little marked here in Customs. And, you know, it's gotten to the point where I'm preparing for other content, and we need to start making some spaces. It's not fully because I'm just not playing the game and taking a break. It's mainly because I'm just preparing for additional content slots being needed for other stuff. We'll talk about hardcore next, task after that. But those are two things that are going to take up content spots. And it seems like after playing with the YouTube algorithm for so many years across many channels, that 3 videos a day is the sweet spot. It's just the sweet spot. And one of those 3 videos every single day will underperform, but they will get views the next day. And that's what's important. If you overload the content stream, you're going to run into a situation where your content's not going to get shown at all. And when that happens, it's a dead video. It's a waste of time. So right now, great example. Right now, Uncut and Unheard just came out 57 minutes ago. It's 59 views. That's my, out of my last 10 videos, it's my second worst. So it means it's a 9 of 10. Basically, that episode right now, even though it's at 59 views, by tomorrow, because 64 start out the same way. 64 is up to, on the wrong page. 64 is up to 500, and then 63 is at 1100. So it'll get another, 500 in the next 2 days. That's perfectly fine with me, that if it does that. But when we start to see content just 100% underperforming in general, that's when it needs to, be adjusted. And that starts to happen at that 4 video a day mark. I would know because typically anytime a new Call of Duty comes out, the first week, I upload about 100 videos. You can do the math on that. It's a lot. And it's just a lot. It's a lot of work. So it's very significant. I have Call of Duty videos from the release of Modern Warfare 3 that still have 50 views. They never got pushed. They never did anything. And really, when you're uploading that much content, you're hoping one gets, cherry picked and you make a real banger. And that one will pay off, for 4 or 5 crappier videos. You know what I mean? So that's where we're at. Uncut and Unheard slowing down. 65 was released today. 77 was recorded yesterday. 65 was recorded on May 7th. So you can do the math there. Like a 2-month break, and there's only like 12 episodes that separate the 2 months. So definitely slowing down, and that is to transition into a hardcore playthrough starting, which will have the adjustments that have happened in Uncut and Unheard, which you haven't seen yet. But hardcore, the way hardcore is going to work, I don't have the rules yet. I haven't made the rules yet. It's going to be custom rules for me personally. So just an example, we are going to be able to purchase all quest keys. We're not going to have to find them in raid. I'm going to be able to purchase them off the flea market outright. But when it comes to like what we're going to do when we upload it, it's going to be uncut. But episodes won't be an hour. And I'm not going to record like 10 hours. I might, at first when it's super fun and like a honeymoon phase. But it's not going to be super out of touch, super out of date, stuff like that. It's not going to be episodes every single day, but the episodes should be longer. So the intended target time for hardcore will be 2 to 4 hours on the recordings. So the 2-hour recordings will happen more than the 4 hours, more than the 3 hours. But when those episodes come up where I'm really gaming, I'm really locked in, really focused on getting a task done, those will be those longer episodes. And it seemed to work out for Uncut and Unheard, at least when I was recording it, it felt okay. Uploading them takes forever, though. It's so much content. And because it's a raw file size, it's on a higher bit rate, so the quality is actually slightly better. It's on a 50,000 bit rate instead of a 10,000 bit rate. All of the edited videos, this one included, will be on a 10,000 bit rate. All of the Uncut and Unheard episodes, they're supposed to be on a 50,000 bit rate. I'm not sure if they actually are or not. And then YouTube compresses it a little bit, so I don't know like how much is actually being shown when it comes to quality side, but it's supposed to be better. So Uncut and Hardcore, that'll be the name. Just letting you know now, to be Uncut and Hardcore. That will be 2 to 4 hour episodes, and they will be once every 2 to 3 days. So they will not be every single day. I will not be able to record them that much. And there might be a slight delay from the release of it. We're going to be doing those task guides like right off the bat, the moment PvE is purchasable. And yeah, that's kind of where we're at. I hope it goes fine. I hope there's no hiccups, no issues, but hopefully that's all on the new PC as well. And everything just goes great. Everything just goes smooth, and we'll be good to go on that. But Hardcore, I'm excited. Like I said, we're making our own rules to fit me, so I continue to stick with it and I don't just quit. I think I made it to 8 episodes on the one Hardcore playthrough we did here on the channel. I just quit. There's so many different things that made it just genuinely too hardcore, and that took the enjoyment out of it. So that's what we're gonna do with that. Next is every task in the game. We're gonna have a guide video, and that will start immediately the moment PvE is purchasable. Starting down to the pocket. Well, Ground Zero will be first, but Pocket Watch, Salewa's, everything. We're gonna do every single task in the game, so it should be hundreds of videos. And yeah, I'm excited for that, mainly because I'm gonna try and grow the channel with those. It seems like 90% of my viewership now is returning viewers. Thank you guys, whether you're subscribed or not. It's just harder to capture the new audience. I've had many people already tell me that weren't subscribed. They have literally told me in the comments, like, hey, this is the first video I've seen from you in weeks. Like, you haven't been on my recommended at all. And I'm just like, okay, thanks for letting me know. That lets me know that right now the content that I'm producing is not what the mainstream Tarkov audience wants to watch. And I don't really focus on that too much. I upload what I want to upload and what I want to make, and what fits my schedule. But when it does come to, like we made the labs loot video, like when you do money runs, stuff like that, I know what I'm doing. I know when I need a little boost to the channel, when I want to get some extra views here and there. Anything update related, anything at all, anything patch related always does better. Anything money related always does better. So, if I wanted to farm, I could. But when it comes to the task, I think with PvE being purchasable and capturing the casuals and getting a bunch of new subscribers, that's when we're really going to focus on that. So I think it'll be fine. I think it'll be fun. And yeah, it's gonna be great. So where are we at here? We have a few more things to talk about, then we're going to wrap it up. My voice is giving out, and I actually don't have a hashtag hydrate with me. All I have is this little bit of soda stream left, and it's like an inch. It's not much at all in the cup, so not trying to drink that. I'd rather just get a sip of water. You know what? I could just go get one. Let me just go get one. Everybody grab some water for me, please. I'm not going to edit it out. I'm lazy enough. Grab one out of the case. Keep it on hand. Oh. Damn, I should have did that sooner. That is phenomenal. God, water is so good. What a blessing. All right, so the next thing is Elden Ring. We're just completely changing up. On my channel, Acez Plays, which by the time this is up, I think there's only 2 episodes right now. Let me check. Go to YouTube. Go over to the Acez Plays channel, which might just play an intro. It won't. I might have to fix that. Why is it not showing intros? Is it because I'm subscribed, maybe? Could be. Over on Acez Plays, we're racking up the views over there. We started playing some Elden Ring. I hate Souls games. All right, I absolutely hate Souls games. But Elden Ring so far has actually been pretty fun. I really like the atmosphere. The performance is amazing. I thought the performance would be terrible. I'm actually enjoying it a little bit, surprisingly. I fought like 1 mini boss and 1 main boss. They were all right. I use summons because I'm just bad at the game. I'm terrible. So, you can judge me. I said in episode 1 I'm going to be using all the cheese. I'm going to be using all the things that are supposed to help me because I'm handicapped in the game because I'm just absolutely terrible and don't want to get demolished for an hour straight. But over on the Acez Plays channel, it's just my name, Acez, and then space plays. And then if you want the direct at, it's at Acez Plays, no space. And we are on episode 2 at noon today. Episode 3 will go live. That one contains my first rage quit. And our first official boss. It wasn't in episode 2. But there's 2 episodes. Episode 1 has a whole 12 views, racking them up, baby. I think I've said this before. I don't know if it was on the last podcast, but my Acez Plays channel is just it's basically like a shit posting channel. It's just like whatever I'm playing, whatever I'm doing, I'm uploading it. I'm making it worth my time. It's a mental thing for me, actually. So Elden Ring is just kind of for me to relax and just take some time off and just play some video games. But in my brain, because I'm an entrepreneur, if I'm just playing video games and not recording it, that's a waste of time. But if I'm recording it and uploading it and making 1 cent from it, technically it's not a waste of time. And it could be viewed till the end of time or till, the world blows up or the internet shuts down, whatever. But that lives on forever in history. It just documents my experience and it lives on forever. So over on the Acez Plays channel, like not only have I, played a bunch of stuff, we have all of Halo Reach on there, all of Halo Combat Evolves on there. I think I mentioned this in the last podcast. There's a game called 5 Dates where literally I was dating like these fake e-girls, but it's like a movie. It's like an interactive, real filmed thing with like, it's an interactive game. That's what they call it. We did a bunch of zombies for Modern Warfare 3 content. I actually uploaded the day before the game that everybody hated that I loved. Surprise, I was the only one who liked PVE. Are we surprised that I liked the day before? Anyone? Those videos did super well. The moment the game got canceled, those videos blew up. Like, one of them has over 2,000 views. I actually made a decent bit of money off of that. And I got my refund, so. And, upload a little bit of Chernobylite. I love Chernobyl. Anything Chernobyl lore is amazing. IRL, I love it. I need to get back on that game. I need to finish that game. That game was actually really fun. What else we got in here? The Complex, another one of those interactive. We have an entire Atomic Heart playthrough. Battlefield 1, Days Gone, a little bit of H1Z1 in 2023. Did Sons of the Forest with my duo Mimic. Upload a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, there is literally hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of content on this channel. And, most of it just doesn't get any views. And that's perfectly fine with me because it's not what the intention was. You know what I'm saying? The intentions were to feel like I can relax and not waste time. And for my most loyal fans, have another place for them to get more from me. That's just the best way to put it, For the guys who actually really like my content, like my personality, think I'm funny. I don't have, like, the personality of a chair. It's the word I always use. Never be a chair. If you're a chair, you just sit there and do nothing. You have no personality. The people that really fuck with me, like, this is another place for you, man. If you want to keep continuing to support the brand, and, slur my words now. You can tell I'm wearing down. How did I make it 2.5 hours? That's actually impressive. I'm proud of myself for that. But moral of this story, I just started uploading Elden Ring, and I try to keep the rage to a minimum for Tarkov recordings, like Uncut and Unheard and stuff. I rage a lot. Like, I'm a Call of Duty player, so I rage. Like, small inconveniences in Call of Duty, like my teammates stand in the way, I'm going off. I'm like, dude, get the F out of the way, stuff like that. Like, I'm raging constantly. It's, it's not like a full rage. Like, I'm going to throw my controller and put a hole in the wall. But it's like, I'm raging. Elden Ring, in the first 2 episodes, didn't really bring that out. But episode 3 is juicy. I rage quit. And it wasn't even on a boss. It was on a mini boss. And that should come out later today at noon. So if you want to check that out, man, you can definitely do that. It's a completely different vibe from Tarkov. And I've been having a lot of fun on it. So it's there. I'm figuring, I gotta support myself. I gotta self-promote. And so I was reading a comment, got distracted. Yeah, man. Elden Ring has been pretty fun. And it's just like another thing. I think I mentioned this already, but the performance is amazing. The graphics are beautiful. And I'm getting 60. I got like 2 frame drops 2 different times, and they went down to like 58 frames. And I was just like, wow, phenomenally optimized game so far. It's been great. It's been amazing. It's been, I just can't stand performance drops. And actually starting you off the rip, just 60 frames, that's all you get. You don't get 144. There's nothing you can do about it. You're going to play on 60 frames, and that's what you get. Has actually been really nice. It's been very enjoyable, even though it's not, I can't take advantage of my 240 hertz monitor. It's just like, it still feels fine, and I'm getting the full experience. It's been very fun. So, if you like Elden Ring, you want to watch some of it, check it out. Oh, you know what? I actually have to go drop a comment on my own video. real quick. I forgot to do that. You might hear the audio. I have to, dude. This new YouTube setup they got going on is the ugliest thing I've ever seen. Why is the description and the title and everything on the right now? YouTube, what are we doing? Oh, this looks terrible. I have to actually type in to ignore the comment about Doc. So, Scav had on Doc's vest, and I said something along the lines of, like, Doc was there, and something along the lines of, don't disrespect the two-time or something like that. I'm gonna just say in the comments right now to ignore that comment. We're not gonna get into it. We're not gonna get political here. I'm not gonna give you any more than that. I'm just gonna say ignore that comment. I don't want drama here on the channel. I don't want confrontation. I don't support that. If he's not guilty, whatever, figure it out later. Not my place to talk about. I don't care enough to talk about it, and that's that. So I had to do this in another video too. I had to pin a comment saying ignore the comment about finding a Doc armor because this was recorded 2 months ago. So let me do that. Ignore the comment about Doc early on. It's sad I even have to do this too, man. It's just crazy world we live in. Nothing like 2008. That's what I'll say. Wild Wild West back then, baby. This was recorded in May. All right, let's pin that comment up. All right, that's all we'll say about that. Like I said, sad I even have to drop a comment about it, but is what it is, unfortunately. So we got 3 more things here to talk about. That kind of pissed me off that I had to do that. I hate drama, bro. Like, why can't we all just be good human beings and just, like, I don't know. I said we're not gonna get into it, so we're not gonna get into it. We don't get political here. We don't do none of that. It is what it is. Whatever happened, happened. And we'll continue to figure that out as we go. So, new PC. We talked about it a lot in the last one, so we don't need to talk about it too much. But the main thing I wanted to talk about is I am in talks with, hopefully, getting a company on board with us that, there's been absolutely nothing talked about in detail. All that has been said is I just said, hey, would like to work with you guys. I know you work with some other Tarkov creators. I love to work with you guys. If I can make something, a deal out to be advantageous for you and advantageous for me, whether that be, a slight discount or, I did not ask for a PC outright. I did not ask for that. I fully intend on paying a large amount still. I told them our budget, which is around 6, and it was just like, hey, you can cut me a discount, 10%, 20%. I give you X amount of promo, whatever you want. I just gave them like very basic guidelines on I give you something, you give me something transactional, and if everything works out, would love to work together maybe in the future. Stuff like that, right? Very, very businessy, just type of request. Send it to the owner of the PC company on his private Twitter. And he said, hey, reach out to us on our business Twitter, and hopefully we can hop in a call, I assume with one of his business partners or a co-owner or something like that. So that's where that's at. That's still in limbo. I still need to talk to them, see what they want. I'm more than willing to do pretty much whatever. It doesn't bug me one bit, to put their info in the description. I'm not going to edit in like their logo on every single video. I know Stank does that with Starforge, but I assume they pay him a very, very handsome amount. If this company would want to do that and they believe in me as a creator, hey, I'd be more than willing if the amount is correct. But, I just want to do something like, let's do one, like, banger sponsored video. Let's do description on 50 to 100 videos, or we could do lifetime depending on the amount of discount. If we're talking, just an example. Let's say they want to put 5K towards it. Just like I said, an example, which that's completely unrealistic considering 4090s, I think, are $1,800. But that's just an example. If they would put, 5K towards it, like, in my opinion, that is support enough to have their info in the description till the end of time and or until a PC sponsor picks us up like officially on a contract. And if that would be them, that would work in their favor, obviously. But it just depends on what they're willing to give, and whatever that might be, that then will open up the opportunity of what I'm willing to give them in return. So, if they just want to do like an affiliate program where they give me a discount code and they pay me X amount, like I'm not really interested in that personally. Maybe if the amount's like a large amount, I would need some sort of instant gratification, some sort of instant upfront, thing to incentivize me to want to do it. That's how I work with all companies. If I'm not being paid for the work I'm doing, like if I have to wait for a payment, it's just not really how I do something. I genuinely do not trust a lot of people in the industry. And it's just like one of those things where, I am going to need something up front, something tangible I can see, whether that's an amount or that is, a discount, any savings, anything like that. Any acts of good faith, anything like that. Like for one COD company that I've never worked with. So there's, excuse me, might need to hashtag hydrate again. There's one COD company I worked with that's a VPN company that the very first time we worked together, I asked them for a half down payment. You pay half up front and you pay the next half after. They said, no, we don't do that, but I can assure you, you will get your money, you will get paid. So I acted good faith, did it, they paid me, everything went smooth. So now every time I work with them specifically, I don't need to ask for the down payment because I know I'm going to get paid. And if there ever becomes a point in time where I don't get paid, I still got paid for all the other times. So it doesn't matter if I don't get paid that last time, hypothetically. I'll just never work with them again and they won't get the promotion they're looking for. But another company reached out to me, and it's a company I never heard of. And I was like, hey, if you want me to do a thing on your service, I need that down payment. And they paid me half of the amount that they were offering up front. I make the video, I do all the work, and then I get paid the remaining half once the deliverable is delivered. So, I will need at least something up front. The company that I reached out to is very well known, and I think they're very well respected. So even if they don't want to offer like anything up front, I think I'm still more than willing to trust my gut on it and go with them. The fact that I even reached out to them was me trusting my gut on it. So full transparency, right now I have an NZXT, and it's not bad, but I kind of want something a little different. If I have to go with them again, I will. They did a phenomenal job getting this PC that we're using now built very quickly. There was an issue though. Some of the USB ports, they can't handle the rated load and they short, and that's obviously an issue, but it wasn't a deal breaker issue. But their support isn't the best, and if I work with a company that's a little less mainstream, I'd feel actually more comfortable with it, because there's a lot of mom and pop shops out there that they do way better than these mainstream companies. So that's not any shade at NZXT. That's just based on the experience I've had with them. Now, if I would get my PC from NZXT right now, I would have to go with all of their top of the line options that they are currently supporting, whatever inventory they have on hand. I think if you would literally max out every single thing for an Intel chip, I think you're looking at minus maxing out your storage space and your RAM. Even with like 92 or 96, I can never remember which one it is. 48 times 48, or excuse me, 48 times 2. Whatever that is. It's either 92 or 4. Yeah, I'm not even gonna try. I'm too tired. This podcast takes a lot out of me. It's funny to watch me just degrade. Like at the beginning, I have all this energy. I'm good, not slurring my words. And then by the end of it, I'm just cooked. I'm just exhausted. We had no edits, no errors either, so that's kind of crazy. But with right now in NZXT, I think it would be, if you want warranty, just a 2-year, not like anything higher. With 2-year after tax and everything, you're looking at about $6K even. Higher warranties, obviously more. And if you max out storage and max out RAM, I think actually, I don't think they allow you to go above 92 or 96 unless you have a certain motherboard. I think it's one of the lesser motherboards too, which is crazy. But I think if you would max out your storage and if you would go with like a pretty crazy warranty, you'd be pushing 7. So, it's kind of in the budget range. At least I hope it is. Hopefully nothing happens within the next, whatever amount of time. That affects, anything financial, no hiccups, no emergencies, anything like that. Assuming everything goes well, we should be good to go. And especially if I can work out something with the PC company I've been talking to, that would be amazing. That would just be absolutely amazing to have them help out a little bit. And if we could maybe get some new PCs in other people's hands for a discount as well, if they do want to give me an affiliate code and, also do like some work, like I would be more than happy to do that for them. You see all these creators that have discount codes for these companies and they get a small kickback on that, but it ends up actually saving you money as well. Like it's not just like giving the creator money, like it saves you money. So we'll see on that. Hopefully things go smooth, but it's been a little spotty on the communication. So the first time I reached out, it took them like a week to respond to me, and I have reached out to the company officially, and it's been like 3 days now. So we'll see with that, especially if they want me to hop in a call with them and I'm purchasing the PC no matter what in about 3 weeks. It's like, I kind of need maybe a little quicker communication. So we'll see. I'm hoping for the best. I'm more than willing, but we'll just have to see how it pans out. So we have one more thing to talk about, and that is a streamer item. I wish we could get one. I really hope we could get one, but right now we are certainly not even close to what I would say popular enough for Nikita to consider me, which is crazy because we were at a point where in, I'd say 2020 or 2021, when the channel was really popping. It's popping now, of course, in the last 2 months, but back when it was popping, like the most popular it was, I think there was a very real opportunity for us to get a streamer item. And the reason I say that is because Nikita was making streamer items like they were candy. Now they're a lot more coveted. Honestly, I think the last batch that came out was the batch with Nice Guy, if I'm not mistaken, with the press pass and the other ones that were added. So I don't think it's something that's really obtainable, but it's fun to talk about. As for, there's plenty of streamer items that need to be made still that haven't been made, and I'm assuming they will come with patch 15. But there was like tournament winners who were promised a streamer item and other stuff like that. Those guys need to get their items first. So as for us, I don't know if I have burned the bridge with Battlestate Games. I hope, Nikita, I know they watch some of my content, and I think they just watch to see what I'm abusing when it comes to the money runs and nerfing it accordingly. Not all of them, but some of them. I mean, there's been so many instances where literally 24 hours after a video is uploaded, something's been patched, fixed, nerfed, whatever. It's happened like 5 to 10 times already. So to say I'm just gassing myself up and have an ego and they were going to fix something anyway, no, it's just simply not the case. And there's things that I haven't talked about that have gone unfixed for months now. One of those is farming Zerachi. That's all I'll say. I don't have to say any more than that. It's like, do they know about what I'm talking about? Probably not. Are they going to raise some eyebrows now? Maybe. Are they going to watch my podcast? Not a chance. So it's going to continue to go unfixed until I make an exploit video about it, and then it gets fixed in 2 days. It's just kind of how it goes. So as for a streamer item, I talked really bad about Tarkov in 2021, in 2022, and in 2023. Things got better, and they continue to get better, and now they're amazing. And I have really nothing bad to say about Nikita, about Battlestate Games, about Escape from Tarkov. I have really nothing bad to say, truthfully. Arena's not great. PvP is still pretty dog water, but other than that, I have no complaints about the game now. So, I would love to, if there is bad blood there, I would love to sit down with them and just be like, hey, I'm good. I apologize for everything I said. And, if there was ever like a guarantee of a streamer item and they said, hey, we need this video, and this video completely removed, I would absolutely do it. Because a streamer item would not only help this channel, but help my brand in general just tenfold. There's millions of people that play Escape from Tarkov. If even 0.01% of them stopped by the channel and actually subscribed, I mean, we'd blow up. You know what I mean? And I think some of the creators I mentioned earlier, Piranha, Tweak, Geeksa, those guys don't have streamer items. And in my opinion, they're undervalued as creators. So, I think all of them might have had kind of similar situations where they've disagreed. I know Tweak for sure has disagreed with some of the directions Tarkov has gone in the past, and maybe that impacts that decision. But, it's just one of those things where I would love to continue to support Escape from Tarkov PVE, maybe for another 10 months straight, a full year, full support, and, maybe we get something. I have no idea, but, me speaking it into existence is something I believe in pretty heavily, manifestation. And, as we continue to grow, 25,000, 30, 35, 40, 50, 100, and maybe even beyond, I think that's when we will start to get a little more recognition and potentially in the future maybe get one. So, and I actually don't know if there are any YouTube-only creators who have an item in the game. I know it's a streamer item. I don't stream. I do not stream at all. And maybe that's something that is already makes me a no. Like, it's like, no, you don't stream at all. You don't stream on Twitch. You don't stream on YouTube. You don't stream. You simply do not do any of that. So we're not going to give you an item. They're called streamer items. I understand that, but we can very easily turn them to creator items and support your boy. But as for what the item would be, I've always said the most likely candidate is just a deck of cards. Just a deck of cards with an ace on top, like the logo on the box. And, it would just be that. It would just be Ace's deck of playing cards or something like that. Ace's deck, something like that. And, it'd just be super cool, man. It would just be so, so cool. And, I'm definitely not entitled to it or anything, but I'm just thinking about it now. Just imagine walking up and looting a valuable spawn, and right there's an item with your name on it. Like, that's just, I think that's like any creator's dream, to be globally recognized by the thing you love, like one of your passions. So, yeah, man. That's the last thing on the list. That was it. Just talking about streamer items. And that was just kind of a little closeout topic, so we didn't have to end it on talking about a PC and working with companies and stuff. All businessy talk. We can end it on something more personable. So, yeah, that's been the podcast. Absolutely zero things I'm editing out. I know we had a little hashtag hydrate break, and I probably stuttered a couple times, maybe one or two voice cracks in there. Not editing out any of the cuss words or anything like that, but I'm glad I get to do this podcast for you guys, man. Really lets me be me, lets me be more authentic. I don't have to be super over enthusiastic, and it's not that I put it on for show for videos, but I do try to be as energetic as possible, as fueled up as possible, having caffeine in my system, making sure, I'm not hungry, I'm not hangry, nothing like that. I try to be in the right state of mind when we do our videos. And sometimes I'm tired. Now, I don't really let that affect me. Like, if I'm tired, if I'm just gassed out, then it is what it is. I'll still record a video. But here in the podcast, I can just be me. Just talk to you guys. Talk to my most loyal fans, man. And I think in the last one, I saw a lot of Water Gang filter for life. I saw a lot. I think I guessed there would be 30. And let me see if I can check real quick. We're going to get... No, okay, cool. Where is the podcast? It's been a little bit since I've uploaded. 8 days, and it was recorded on the 20th, so we definitely took some time. Can I see... comment section on the right. Why, YouTube? Why? Let me see here. Oh, this guy just commented it 55 minutes ago. Shout out Bart. So we got 1, 2. I think I said 30. 3, 4. I'm gonna count every single one of these. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, 33% there. 11. So I was pretty off. I knew there'd be a lot of people that didn't watch till the end. There was, how many views was there? 2, wow, really? Guys, 2,000. Oh my God, thank you. I didn't notice that much. I thought it was like 1,000. So 11 people out of 2,000 made it to the end of a 2-hour and 27-minute podcast. I respect it, man. I really do. Like, those guys are the most loyal. But same thing. Water Gang filter for life. Gang, it's water filter, gang, and then the number 4, and then life spelled LYFE. Water Gang Filter for life. So, yeah, drop a comment if you made it to the end. Water Gang Filter for life. And yeah, so we're going to end it off. If this one gets even 1,000 views, I'll consider it a success. But, with these podcasts, if they only get 100, still don't care. Just a way for me to talk to the most loyal ones. And I hate, it's funny. I genuinely hate ending these things because, if you've watched this long, you've watched for an hour and a half, it just feels kind of wrong to end it on you, It's like you're listening to a podcast, you're here to listen for as long as you need to listen, whether you're working or you're driving to work, you got a long drive ahead of you. And it's just like, I don't want to see it go and then have nothing for you to listen to, nothing for you to watch. But unfortunately, we just don't have anything else to talk about, and you'll have to wait roughly a week or two for another episode. So, I appreciate you. And once again, I forgot to say this in the beginning, but ads every 10 minutes. And the first one will start on minute 2. And it'll be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and then 70, 80, 90, 100, and like 110 or 120, whatever it is. Not 120. No, just be 100. Be one right now, and then that'll be it. So you probably got one 30 seconds ago. God damn it. I ended with an ad. I'm sorry. That's going to do it. Thank you guys so much for stopping by and showing all your support lately. It means the world. I'll see you in the next episode.